beautiful, we're divine. We come from God himself, but many of us are committing savage acts on one another. Pre-Father's Day, to the black man that's out here today, you got to build your family today. Black men have to stop having fractured households. Black men have to stop having dysfunctional families. And black men have to stop looking at the grass on the other side of the fence. The grass on the other side of the fence might look greener, but the grass is not easy to cut. So you need to keep your lawnmower on the right side of the fence, because we are breaking up our families. We are tearing our families apart. You jumping from one woman to the next woman and she the same. And sister, you can't have a sick mentality thinking that your stuff is better than the other sister's stuff when stuffing all tastes the same. Everything is the same. This is a systemic problem that we have, and it breaks up the family dynamic because we can't stay in one place too long. We pass this to our young children. I have 5 children, ages 32 to 16. They're college graduates, some of them. But what I've given them more than that kind of education is a family dynamic. We have to give that to one another. When none of us are perfect, but we got to learn to be right and exact. We got to be better than that. To women, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, where there are no decent women, there can and will be no decent men. So women, you got to be more of self-respecting of yourself. You have to stop giving away the living room, the dining room, the bedroom, and the basement to men that you know mean no good to you. We believe that a woman should have a right to choose, but you should have the right to choose a good man that's not going to leave you holding a baby and a bag. And when Father's Day come along, he's your baby's daddy, but he's not the father of your children. He's your baby's daddy, but he's not good enough to be your husband. And brothers, you got to start taking on responsibility with the sisters and stop playing the field. The Mac Daddy mentality has to be over with. And some of us OGs out here, some of us old ones that came up, you out here chasing girls 16, 17, 18 years of age. Don't act like I don't know what I'm talking about, because you know that's what's going down. And mothers, you got to put the clamp down. When you see an old dude, 45 and 55, looking at your 19-year-old daughter, and she got to have enough sense to stay away from somebody like that. What happened to age parity? What happened with us finding someone in our own bracket? Because I swear you're not coming after my daughters like that, and they got enough sense to tell you, dude, find somebody your right age. But if they didn't have enough sense, I got enough sense to back you up. Because a real man stands and takes a principal position. Now, brothers and sisters, we got to wake up. Because if we don't change what's happening in our community, then when they send in the National Guard, it's not going to look nice. Because many of us have called for the National Guard in many communities around the country. And we don't realize when you do that, what we're calling for. Mayor Wayne Hall Sr. wants to make this a health issue, this crime epidemic, because it is. It's destroying the health of the community. And so all young black men and young black women, you must stand up. The Hispanic community the same. There's too much domestic violence. There's too much verbal violence. There's too much continuous use of the N-word. Everything is a nigger. If the pen don't write, what's wrong with this nigga? I just bought it yesterday. If the remote control don't work, what's wrong with this nigga? I just put batteries in this nigga yesterday. If the car don't start, why this nigga not starting? We make it a term of endearment when it's a negative, an inherent negative word that we should never use. But we use it as we explain to one another and talk to one another like it's love. But when you kill someone, I just bust a cap in that nigga. There's a new rap song out. I know Rick Ross is out there with Maybach Music, but they got a new rap song. And in it, it desensitizes the young people relative to gun violence. It says, watch how the body tilts when I hit the head. And everybody is running around the community rapping their lyrics of that song. Watch how the body tilt when I hit the head. So that means that you're going to bust a cap in someone's head. And so young black men are out here experimenting. And when they're not doing that, we shooting from hidden places, killing one another. But we want to blame white folks for this and blame them for that. We have to hold ourselves responsible for the things that we do to one another. There's enough that others have done to us, but brothers and sisters, we're doing much more to ourselves. There is police brutality going on, but we are killing us more than then the police are killing us. There is unnecessary harassment by law enforcement, but we are doing a lot to feed into what they do and what they think of us. They call us savage, they call us animals, and when you are gunning your brothers down, when you are disrespecting your female, and she's not respecting herself, then how do you expect others to respect us? So I'm saying to us, brothers and sisters in Hempstead, where we live, we must make our place a decent place to live. We got nice homes, driveways, and cars, but we're not living nice. We drinking too much liquor, we smoking too much cigarettes, we smoking too much marijuana. And let me just tell you this, the marijuana in the streets in the hood is not the medicinal marijuana in California. The marijuana in the hood is laced with about 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 other chemicals that is driving our children mad. Then when you mix it with Ritalin that they give our children in the school system, never let your child be put on Ritalin because it makes them feel depressed. Then they give them an antidepressant pill and it's worse than the Ritalin that they gave them. Then when you mix the marijuana with malt liquor, there's magnesium in the malt liquor that drives a person insane. And you wonder why we shooting off our guns. You wonder why we carrying knives. You wondering why we always aggressive with one another, speaking loud, using the MF word every other time that we speak. It is because we got too much malt liquor in the system. And to the brothers, you keep smoking and keep drinking, but then one day you want to have a beautiful baby. Your baby ain't gonna be beautiful because it is the nicotine in the cigarette that clouds and disturbs the head of your sperm and produces a child with defects. We live in today in a world, brothers and sisters, that we got to get rid of all of these vices. We too much smoking, too much drinking, too much partying, and not enough thinking and planning for the future. Out here with education, you say education will free us? Well, we need to go free, because right now we look like a bunch of slaves on a plantation that only look free for a moment, but with violence is bringing us back. I say to you from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we must learn to respect one another. We must learn to appreciate one another. And I say this, when the next violent incident takes place, then all of us will come together at a funeral home. All of us will come together and we will mourn and we will cry. But if you don't look in the mirror and tell the truth to yourself about yourself, that you knew your son had that gun in the home. You knew that he was smoking and drinking and you didn't do nothing about it. You didn't speak to your daughter and tell her how to be a young lady and a young woman. You just letting our children be footloose, experiment with one another. Are we tired of rampant teenage pregnancy? Are we tired of young girls going to the abortion clinic? Do you know what it feels like to sit up in a stirrup? I've been there to see it happen. It's not a good thing. It's better to see life come into the world. So on this pre-Father's Day, we ask black men, Hispanic men, all men, but particularly the black and Hispanic in our community, to stand up and be more respectful. Stop hiding behind title. Stop hiding behind the work that we do and be men of principle that have knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and give guidance to a community. Let our young girls grow up untouched. Let them grow up where they can be precious in the sight of God and in our community, and stop messing around with them. Mothers, be stronger teachers to your children, because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, when you teach a man, you teach an individual. But when you teach a woman, you teach a nation, because nations come through your womb. Mothers and grandmothers continue to teach and be strong. But the men of the community, in the spirit of the Million Man March, we got to come and stand back up. We're going to come back to Hempstead, and we're going to hold a Stop the Killing rally with the blessings of Mayor Wayne Hall Sr., as we did with Mayor Ernie Davis. And we're going to give you guidance, we're going to give you warning, and we're going to give you a program in position that we can change what's going on. We thank you for the time we've given us. There's much more to be said, but we'll be back at another time. Remember, no matter what you're going through, no matter what trial and tribulation, remember this: every day above ground is indeed a blessed day. Another day to solve a problem, and another day to receive a blessing from a wonderful Creator. Thank you as we greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.